A teenage murder suspect locked up today. I mean, after all, police say he admitted to killing a random rideshare driver recently just to blow off some steam.
This time for allegedly pointing a gun at his younger brother's head. Police say he was drunk when he held a gun to his 7-year-old half-brother's head, reportedly telling him not to tell.
There won't be any more memories. There won't be any more birthday calls. There won't be any more telling me I'm 25 when I'm really 50-something.
Joseph Andrews was just trying to pay his bills. He was 30 years old, married, dependable, the kind of man who picked up extra rides on weeknight without complaining. August in Albuquerque, warm desert air, a quiet city moving through the dark. His phone buzzed with a new request and he accepted it the same way he accepted all the others, without hesitation, suspicion, without any reason to think twice. A short trip, a few miles, the kind of fare drivers forget before they even get home. But when 18-year-old Shaliki Sanchez climbed into the backseat that night, he wasn't trying to get anywhere. He told police later that he opened the Uber app looking for a target. And when detectives finally sat across from him in that interrogation room, he said something that stopped everyone cold. Joseph wasn't the first.
Teenage murder suspect
Hi,
locked up
welcome
today.
to Last Detective. Here we investigate cases where danger never looked like danger, where the person who can hurt you might be the same person sitting with you at the family table. If you value human voiceover, detailed research, and the details that truly matter, make sure you subscribe. Well, alrighty, I won't waste your time with the long intro. Let's get straight to the case. Augustine, New Mexico. 30 years old Joseph Andrews was by every measure an ordinary man living an honest life. He was no different from countless other hard-working drivers who made their living one ride at a time. He had a wife, a family, and dreams that reached far beyond the pale glow of the Uber app on his phone. He was dependable, he was calm, he was gentle. A man who lived simply, who worked hard, who wanted nothing more than to make sure the bills were paid and there was always food on the table. On the other side of town, 18-year-old Shaliki Sanchez sat waiting. Restless, cold, his mind turning in a way that few people could ever comprehend. He wasn't looking for a destination, he wasn't trying to get home, he wasn't running late for anything. His purpose was far darker than any of that. He wanted, in his own words, to let off steam, and make no mistake, this wasn't impulse, this wasn't anger boiling over in a moment of weakness. It was something colder and more calculated than that. A deliberate hunger. A conscious choice to destroy life, not for gain, not out of revenge, but simply because he believed he could. In the stillness of that August night, Sanchez opened the Uber app, not as a passenger looking for a ride home, as a predator looking for a target.
Why Uber? Why did you choose Uber to find a pickup?
It's easy. I mean, you have somebody else get the Uber off their name and off their thing. What I should have done was do a street over or some shit, and then just meet them there at that spot where it was, and then have them go do that. And off of someone else's name, just tell them their name that the person is using it off of. You pick who you want to either do or whatever you want to do. I don't give a fuck what you do. You pick who you want to kill, and basically you just wait until you get to the spot. And once you have that good conversation going where they you have a nice night, and then boom, you get out the fucking car, give me all your shit, fucking get the fuck out right here, right now. Easy as that. Pick your victim, you pick who you want to do, and then I needed a ride, so I was like, fuck it, I might as well take the car.
Were you planning this, or did it just happen that way?
Oh no, I just I thought of it right then and there. I was like, I have a gun, I have some bullets. I was like, fuck it. I was like, hey, can you give me an Uber? I was like, I'm gonna go see my friend, and then we're gonna go pick up a car. We're gonna go get a car. And she's like, what car? I didn't tell her exactly what I was doing, but I was like, oh, my homie owes me a favor, and he's gonna let me use his car. So then, just got the Uber, and then, I was like, fuck it, might as well get a car and a body with it. I was like, cause what intentionally I wanted to do was just let some steam off. But I was like, I need a car. And I was like, I don't feel like walking back. I'm like, might as well take it. So yeah, basically, yeah. I wish I would have been more smarter with it, but you can only get so far.
When Joseph's phone buzzed with the incoming ride request, he accepted without a second thought. Why would he have hesitated? It was just another ride, another passenger, another chance to inch a little closer to his goals. He tapped the screen, shifted the car into gear, and headed toward the pickup point. A simple act of routine. A decision that, without his knowledge, would seal his fate. Two strangers, now connected by nothing more than a digital thread, a driver and a passenger. But also, to neither of them knew it yet, a victim and a killer. As Joseph's car pulled up to pickup location, the door opened and Shelike Sanchez stepped inside. The teenager said very little. His eyes moved slowly, scanning. His silence pressed heavy against the air inside the vehicle. From the front seat, Joseph did what he always did. He offered kindness, a smile, polite question, maybe a bit of casual conversation to make his passenger feel at ease. But kindness cannot stop evil.
It was going good. I mean, it was well. I don't know. I just... I wasn't myself, I guess. I don't know. I seen the car. I seen how easy it looked. I mean, I just wanted to. I don't know what the fuck I wanted. Get like satisfied. I don't know. It's just like so much stress and so much bullshit, and it's like I can't take it out on certain people. So it's like. I just take it out on anybody else I can see or find. I don't know. I mean, I've been going to therapy. It's just that I didn't go Thursday, and she canceled on me. I don't know what happened. I told my grandma. I didn't even tell my grandma like anything about what the. I'm just like making it seem like it's so cool. And I don't know. This just seemed easy as fuck to me. Like literally. It just seemed so easy. I mean, he wasn't even looking at me. He was just facing forward. And I needed a car. I needed a place to go somewhere. I needed to get somewhere, and she did too. So I did it.
And soon, the quiet hum of the car engine would be drowned out by something far more violent. For Joseph Andrews, this was supposed to be just another step toward home. For Shelike Sanchez, it was the ride he had been preparing for, the one that would give him exactly what he had come looking for.
Because we know that Anna booked the Uber ride. We know that it was for you. You told her to order the Uber ride. The Uber picked up somebody at the address in front of your house where you're staying, drives down, stops at where it's supposed to stop. The driver gets shot and is killed. And after that, the car is northbound course. And you're still driving the car.
And the thing is, brother, we know a lot about this before we started the interview with you. The only thing we can never know is what you were thinking and what was kind of going through your head. Okay.
The car rolled forward through the dimly lit streets of Albuquerque. Street lights flickered overhead, their pale glow cutting through the darkness in broken intervals. The city was quiet, almost asleep, but inside Joseph's car, something invisible and heavy had already begun to build. In the front seat, Joseph continued doing what he always did, offering warmth, trying to fill the silence with something human, but the young man behind him didn't answer, didn't respond, and didn't engage. 18-year-old Shelike Sanchez sat in silence, his gaze fixed on nothing and everything at once. He was watching, studying, waiting, And Joseph had no idea that the teenager in his backseat wasn't tired, wasn't shy, wasn't simply having a quiet night. He was calculating. Every second that passed, every brief glance toward the rearview mirror, brought Joseph closer to a trust he would never be allowed to understand.
So, like on the Uber, did one just get randomly sent to you, or did you get to like pick through?
I got to pick.
Oh, you get to pick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What made you pick him?
I don't know what it was. He seemed like a good guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really go for good people, but I mean, I think he was. And then just like I do feel bad for him a little bit, but you know.
And then did
I wish I would have picked this other guy. This guy is like big, like he was like, buff, but he was too skinny.
The ride details showed only a short trip, just a few miles, a routine pickup, the kind of fare that drivers forget before the night is even over. But this one wouldn't be forgotten. Not by the city, not by the police, not by the headlines that would soon spread across the country. The car turned down quieter roads, the hum of the engine filled the space between them. Joseph thought nothing of it, just another passenger, another stranger he would never see again. But to Sanchez, this wasn't coincidence. This wasn't fate. This was the moment he had been waiting for, the moment he had chosen. For Sanchez, it wasn't enough, because this killing was not an end. It was only a beginning. The murder of Joseph Andrews was sudden, devastating, and utterly senseless. But what came next was even more chilling. When police finally closed in on 18-year-old Sheliki Sanchez, they expected denial. They expected excuses, maybe a deflection, maybe a story, maybe something that resembled even basic self-preservation. But what Sanchez gave them instead was a confession that would shake investigators to their core. In the cold, bright light of the interrogation room, Sanchez said calmly, almost casually, as detectives pressed him for answers. And without hesitation, he admitted to killing Joseph Andrews. No remorse, no visible struggle, just a flat, matter-of-fact acknowledgement of what he had done. But then his words took a turn that no one in the room was prepared for. Sanchez leaned forward and told investigators that this was not his first killing. That long before Joseph Andrews there had been others. 3 others. Murder that had gone unnoticed. Murders that had been never solved. And for a moment the room fell silent. Detectives exchanged glances, uncertain whether the young man sitting across from them was telling the truth or spinning some twisted fantasy designed to shock and confuse. But Sanchez didn't flinch. He described the supposed prior killings with an unsettling level of detail. His voice cold, his tone completely detached, as though he were recalling ordinary memories, not acts of extraordinary violence. "I've done this before," he said. Joseph wasn't the first. The statement sent shockwaves through the department. Were they sitting across from a one-time killer or something far more dangerous? Were they looking at the beginning of a serial murderer? Police immediately began digging, pulling old case files, searching for patterns, looking for missing links that might connect to the teenager's chilling claims. And while investigators couldn't confirm every word he said, the possibility alone was enough to terrify the community. Because if Sheliki Sanchez was telling the truth, it meant a predator had been walking the streets of Albuquerque long before the night Joseph Andrews died. And no one had seen it coming.
I don't feel no type of way. I usually get anxiety and everything, but
This time was a little bit different.
I enjoyed it. It was like an adrenaline rush, like a good one. Like, oh, I just.
When's the first time you shot somebody?
Middle school?
In middle school? When do you think the first time that you killed someone was?
In middle school.
Do you remember it? How many people do you think you killed?
I'm not a serial killer, but three that I know of?
3 that you know.
Including this guy, or?
Oh, that would be four.
Okay.
The confession raised another deeply disturbing question. Why would an 18-year-old with no apparent motive and no documented history of violent crime make a series of choices like this? His answer was as cold as it was incomprehensible. He said he did it to let off steam, as though taking an innocent human life was nothing more than a release valve for boredom, for frustration, for some hollow emptiness inside him that he simply didn't know what to do with. For investigators, it was a nightmare scenario. For the families left behind, it was unbearable. And for the city of Albuquerque, it was a chilling reminder that evil can come from anywhere, even from an 18-year-old who appeared ordinary on the surface but carried a darkness that very few could have imagined. But the confession was only the beginning, because as detectives pressed further, they uncovered a pattern of threats, of intimidation, and a deeply unsettling glimpse into the mind of someone who showed every sign of not being finished. For detectives, the murder of Joseph Andrews was already one of the most disturbing cases they had faced. But as their investigation into Shelly Sanchez continued to unfold, they uncovered something even more troubling. The violence hadn't been confined to the streets of Albuquerque. It had reached inside Sanchez's own home. Behind the walls where he lived, that teenager had revealed a side of himself that terrorized even the people closest to him. He wasn't just a danger to strangers. He wasn't a danger within his own family. According to police reports, Sanchez has made threats against his own 7-year-old brother. The details were chilling, and they painted a portrait far darker than investigators had initially imagined. He had intimidated the child, instilling deep fear and creating an atmosphere of total control in absolute silence. This wasn't a moment of uncontrolled rage. It was calculated, deliberate, and methodical. For investigators, it was a glimpse into a pattern of cruelty that reached far beyond a single act of murder. And it didn't stop there. Witnesses came forward claiming that Sanchez had used threats against others as well. Friends, neighbors, anyone who stood in his way. He didn't lash out in anger, he calculated every move. He enjoyed control over others. He wanted people to be afraid of him, and from everything investigators uncovered, he had largely succeeded. The more detectives learned, the more the picture shifted from that of a troubled teenager to something far more deliberate and disturbing. Detectives realized quickly that this wasn't an isolated case of violence. This was a pattern, a personality shaped not by sudden rage but by a cold and calculated desire to dominate and destroy. The chilling reality began to set in. If Sanchez could murder a stranger without hesitation, if he could terrorize his own family without remorse, then who else might he target next? The sense of danger grew, spreading through the community like a shadow, because if that kind of darkness could live inside someone so young, someone who looked so completely ordinary, then how many others like him might be hiding in plain sight?
What gun did you use to shoot him?
What do you mean, which one?
No, like what gun did you use to shoot him? This one that we're talking about. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used a 40.
40?
High Point, JCP.
Okay. Where's that gun
I thought you guys had it. No?
at? I've been here talking to you. We're in Anna.
Where'd you put it?
It's in the middle of the console.
Oh.
Just pick it up and you'll find it right there.
In the car?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I shot him with my gun.
Oh, it's yours?
Yeah. Oh, it's not mine, but you know.
Where'd you get it?
Oh, I've had it for a while now.
Did you buy it online?
Oh, I buy it off the street. It was $50. $50 just for a gun, and then what? $23 if you have someone 21 and over to get you bullets. Easy. Simple as that. 50 pack too.
Yeah.
That's like what? Like 10 people you can kill, like with 50 bullets. It's easy.
Did you use like an application, or did you just go up to somebody and ask them?
Oh, I just go up to somebody and ask them.
Okay. Why Uber? Why did you choose Uber to find the victim?
It's easy. I mean, you have somebody else get the Uber off their name and off their thing. What I should have done was like do like a street over or some shit, and then just meet them there at that spot where it was, and then have them go do that. And off of someone else's name, just tell them their name that the person is using it off of. You pick who you want to either do or whatever you want to do. I don't give a fuck what you do. You pick who you want to kill, and basically you just wait until you get to the spot. And once you have that good conversation going where they like, you have a nice night, and then boom, you get out the fucking car, give me all your shit, fucking get the fuck out right here, right now. Easy as that. Pick your victim, you pick who you want to do, and then I needed a ride, so I was like, fuck it, I might as well take the car. Yeah.
Were you like planning this, or did it just happen that night?
Oh no, I thought of it like right then and there. I was like, I have a gun, I have some bullets. I was like, fuck it. I was like, hey, can you give me an Uber? I was like, I'm gonna go see my friend, and then we're gonna go pick up a car. We're gonna go get a car. And she's like, what car? You know, da da da. I didn't tell her exactly what I was doing, but I was like, oh, my homie owes me a favor, and he's gonna let me use his car. So then, just got the Uber, and then, I was like, fuck it, might as well get a car and a body with it. I was like, cause what intentionally I wanted to do was just let some steam off.
The weapon he used was a 40 caliber high-point JCP. He confirmed this when asked directly. It was the same firearm connected to the incident under discussion. He told investigators where to find it. It was sitting in the center console of the vehicle. He said they should be able to reach in and find it right there without any difficulty. The firearm wasn't registered to him. He had picked it up off the street for $50. Ammunition, he said, cost around $23 if a person could find someone 21 or older willing to purchase it. A 50-round box was easy enough to obtain. He calculated the much out loud 50 rounds and the number of people that kind of supply could theoretically be used against. He said it plainly, without hesitation. A star of thought carried no weight with him whatsoever. In the days that followed, prosecutors built their case carefully, methodically, and with devastating detail. Murder, aggravated assault, child abuse, intimidation of witnesses. The charges stacked higher and higher, each one peeling back another layer of who Sanchez truly was and what he was capable of. And yet, when asked again why he did it, why he chose to kill, his answer never changed: to let off steam. Cold, detached and empty. For Joseph's family, those words were unbearable. For investigators, they were haunting. And for the public, they were a reminder that monsters do not always come from the shadows. Sometimes they are sitting in the back seat of your car. The courtroom was silent as the young man was led inside, only 18 years old but already accused of something that shook the city to its core. On paper, he was just a teenager. In reality, he was a confessed killer who spoke about murder as casually as others speaks about the weather. For Joseph Andrews' family, every single moment inside the courtroom was a form of suffering they had never asked to bear. They had lost a son, a husband, a brother, a friend, and now they were forced to sit only a few feet away from the person who had taken him away from them. A person who looked at them without remorse, without sorrow, without anything resembling humanity. Prosecutors laid out the evidence with precision, the Uber records, the ballistics, the chilling confession. Piece by piece, they built a story for the jury. It was a random act of violence, yes, but one driven by something much darker than impulse. A need to kill, a desire for chaos, a hunger to destroy life simply because he could. The defense desperate tried to argue instability. They painted him as troubled, confused, a young man not fully in control of his own actions. But the coldness in his voice, the flat delivery of his words, the complete absence of any regret, these things were impossible to hide. And then came the most chilling revelation of all. When prosecutors played back the recording of Sanchez's confession, the courtroom felt the full weight of his words. He admitted openly, even proudly, that Joseph was not his first victim, that there were others hidden in the shadows of his past, cases no one had known about until that very moment. The room froze. Journalists scribbled furiously. Family members clutched their faces in horror. The possibility that this teenager wasn't just a killer but a serial killer in the making was almost too much to comprehend. Outside the courtroom, the community was in a shock. Joseph's murderer had already left them deeply shaken, but Sanchez's words spread a new kind of fear across the city. Parents questioned their children's safety. Rideshare drivers, once a symbol of convenience and trust, now felt like were stepping into potential danger every single time they picked up a passenger. The headlines told the story in brutal simplicity. Teen kills Uber driver, claims more victims. The image of Sanchez's blank face started back at the public, hounding them, a reminder that evil does not always come with warning signs. Sometimes it looks like an ordinary young man. Sometimes it hides in plain sight. But for Joseph's family, it was more than headlines, it was personal. Every word spoken in that courtroom was another wound that would never fully heal. They didn't want excuses, they didn't want explanations, they just want justice. Justice for the man who had gotten behind the wheel that night to work for his family and never came home. The verdict came after days of testimony, weeks of waiting, and months of grief. The jury filed back into the courtroom, their faces heavy with the weight of everything they had heard. Every eye was fixed on them, every breath was held, and in that silence, the fate of Shalike Sanchez was decided. Guilty on all counts. The word cut through the air like a blade. For Joseph Andrews' family, it was a moment of relief. Brief, fragile, but real. Justice had spoken. But no sentence, no punishment could bring Joseph back. Nothing could fill the empty chair at family dinners or silence the grief of a wife who would never again see her husband walk through the door. The judge's voice carried across the courtroom as the sentence was read. Murder, aggravated assault, child abuse, intimidation, each charge stacked up on the next, a towering reflection of the darkness that lived inside Sanchez. He was condemned to spend his life behind bars, stripped of freedom, caged by the very system he had mocked with his actions. As the gavel struck, the courtroom remained still. Sanchez showed no emotion, no fear, no regret. His face was blank, as though the sentence meant absolutely nothing to him. For him, this was just another chapter. For anyone else, it was an ending, or at least the closest thing to one they would ever get. Outside, cameras flashed and reporters called out questions. The story spread across the nation, a chilling reminder of how quickly a life can be stolen, how randomly violence can erupt in the most ordinary of moments. For Uber drivers, it became a cautionary tale. For families, it was a reminder of how fragile everything truly is. And for the community of Albuquerque, it was a scar that would never fully heal. Joseph Andrews was gone. His killer would never walk free again, but the questions remained. Why did he do it? Why were truly other victims as he claimed? Or was this all part of a twisted game, a final way to hold power over the world even as the prison doors closed behind him? No one could say for certain. All they knew was that justice, however imperfect, had been served. And the city would forever carry the memory of the night a man's life was stolen in a moment no one saw coming. The story of Joseph Andrews and Shalike Sanchez didn't end in the courtroom. For Joseph's family, the sentence was only a reminder of what they had lost: a husband, a son, a man who had climbed into his car that night to work, to provide, to live, and never returned. For the city of Albuquerque, the scars ran deep. People looked over their shoulders. Rideshare drivers, once symbols of safety and service, now felt the silent weight of fear in every ride. Passengers thought twice before stepping into a stranger's car, a reminder that violence can strike anywhere, at any time, even in the most ordinary of moments. And then there was Sanchez, just 18 years old but already responsible for unimaginable darkness. His name became a warning. His face became a symbol of the kind of evil that can hide in plain sight.
What's the passcode to your phone?
Passcode to my phone?
We're gonna do a search warrant on your phone.
Yeah, I kind of thought so. You guys are gonna get through it anyways, right? Or you'll just make it easier?
It'll make it easier.
Bet 030122, I got you.
Appreciate you.
No problem. Fuck it. Might as well. I'm already in cuffs. Nothing else to hide on. Oh my gosh.
Did you not think that we were gonna figure it out?
Sooner or later.
Just not so
I just didn't think it was gonna be so soon.
What were you planning on, like how long were you planning on keeping the car?
Literally, I was about to ditch it today.
What was the plan?
Fucking, I was gonna go leave it out in the mesa. I fucking swap it down with some Lysol. Lysol, some wipes, everything. Everything I need just to wipe the hell down and then.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna put a cloth in the fucking, like a long cloth or like a towel and shove it down the pipe, the gas thing, and then just light it. It's easy.
Evil doesn't always come with a mask. Sometimes it sits quietly in the backseat of a car, waiting, watching, ready to strike. What I keep coming back to is this. If Sanchez was telling the truth about prior victims, who were they? Does a confession with no confirmed body still count as closure for someone? And what does it say about us as a society when the most chilling part of a murder case isn't a crime itself, it's how casually the killer described it? Drop your thoughts below, I read every comment. If you want more cases like this one, stories where the danger was invisible until it was too late, subscribe and stay close. Next time, we are looking at another case where the person nobody suspected turned out to be the one everyone should have been watching.